5 seconds remaining. Turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team's turn to ban. Dire team's turn to pick. Radiant team's turn to pick.
Weaver.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team's turn to pick. Dire team's.
Ah!
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Bristleback!
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Radiant team's turn to pick. Dire team's turn to pick.
Lena.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I think he's like good enough of a player that they don't need to, though. I think they've picked like Medusas on the second phase a bunch of times for him.
Well, how sad are you guys on? Do you guys think this is a bristleback?
Dire
offlane?
team's
I'm
turn
not
to
feeling
pick.
like it's scary.
Disruptor!
Maybe
The mid one smirk gave it away for me.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, and I can imagine Centaur's a low armor hero, right?
Yes.
Obviously high
Radiant
armor.
team's turn to pick.
And I think that hero's legitimately great at being a carry now because they buffed up Warpath like so many times in a row, and then they gave him an Aghanim Scepter, which allows him to get higher stacks of Warpath without target to actually just
cast
spell,
points.
10
yeah,
seconds
cast spells all
remaining.
the time and get 10 Warpath and be hitting for 500 damage.
Dire
So
team
I think this
ban.
hero is underrepresented. And I feel like Wraith King is a great hero for Bristleback carry.
It's what they're comfortable with, at least I think for Jackie, which is the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with Bristleback is that we can already see it in the rest of the picks that SMG are taking. They're
10
working
seconds
around
remaining.
having this Brist carry. They have, I mean, Weaver's a standard
5
4, right?
seconds
But it's a
remaining.
minus armor hero that's going to allow Bristleback to scale quickly, do more damage, take Roshan, so and so. Disruptor just a complementary
Radiant team's
support
turn to
that
ban.
allows for more control, and like Centaur, because I think Centaur is a nice pick against Bristle because
Dire
of the
team
fact that he
ban.
wants to goo you and chase you down, and Centaur allows you to stampede away. But Disruptor was going to bring those heroes back or keep them in kinetic field and make him just be able to deal as much damage as possible. Spirit Breaker, super fast tempo core. I mean, assuming it's a core here, unless they put Weaver on carry or offlane instead. But
Have done, but
10
this
seconds
yeah,
remaining.
we don't know. Hopefully it's a Spirit Breaker offlane. That'd be really cool. And that, like, same thing. It's going to
5
rush
seconds
in,
remaining.
stun people, make chaos, allow Bristleback to just, stampede through behind him and do as much damage as possible. And you need heroes on Motivate Trust that can deal with that type of playstyle.
Right.
Wraith King's okay. He might survive the initial jump with Disrupt Roll, but the
Radiant
problem is
team ban.
that Bristleback is a carry that
Dire
does the
team's
same
turn to
damage.
pick.
He doesn't burst you in one go like a Faceless Void. He is going to just keep fighting and fighting and fighting. And
Radiant
Wraith King
team's
having
turn
2
to pick.
lives, that is not a counter to
Ranger
that.
at your service.
it does counter this a little bit. The Wraith King is not the objective, it's rather the Lina, which we actually saw this in a previous matchup. I think it's Yopaj playing it. I don't remember.
Yeah, Yopaj. I
I
think so.
I think-
because Yopaj is like
10 seconds remaining.
And they picked it against Selena as well, because the matchup in lane, we were like, it doesn't
5
look too
seconds
great.
remaining.
but
then-
later on he'd like BKBs and you're just on city,
Exactly.
right? Yeah.
And Motivate Trust, they need a last pick, and it's a 5 or a 4, depending on what Snapfire is. Q does love that Snapfire, but honestly,
I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure what you could pick. Something that just... I would want some far range control, like some way to keep these heroes at bay without having to commit in, because as soon as you commit in, you just die instantly.
Lion was a great pick.
Even Trian is not the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. He's kind of low damage though. They need a way. They need something good that helps him kill Bristlebacks. I'm kind of worried right now about their ability to kill him.
Hoodwink.
Woodwink? Ooh.
Break mechanic is nice to be able to have. Are there any other supports that can give you that?
Maybe they Wyvern
Or
and they just
Viper.
try and kite him. I would just like to see something with control. Something with either control or a way to kill Bristleback. Just something so that it's okay, Bristle, you can't do whatever you want. Because if Wraith King is allowed to ignore Bristleback and just kill the rest of his team, it's not, honestly, it's not the hardest thing. The supports at least should die very quickly to move it, trust lineup. Wind Ranger 2, if she doesn't have a BKB, she should be controlled up. So yeah, I wouldn't mind it.
Choose your
That's
hero.
right. That's so good. I forgot Shadow Demon existed. That's
I
a
forgot he had a break
classic.
mechanic.
Break mechanic and percentage. So those are both
tier.
really, really good. And Purge works really well against Wind Ranger as well. Honestly, a very inspired pick.
Yeah.
An off-meta hero that
I think this might be the best,
That is
best possible pick.
That is the best Shadow Demon pick I've ever seen in my life.
So hype for a support 5 pick.
I actually forgot that it was in the pool. That's just that is a hero that is so good against Bristle core, especially as a carry. If you're Bristle carry, you're just I don't want to play anymore. Actually, I forgot about this one.
literally the only downside is that you don't actually have that much value out of disruption. The illusions, right?
Sure, that's true.
Yeah,
But
10 seconds remaining.
everything else is so good about it.
you can gank mid, set up for a
5
Lena
seconds
stun
remaining.
as well on Shadow Demon. It's
Yeah.
really free.
Yeah, for sure. It can set up the Lena. It has a nice save mechanic against Disruptor and Wind Ranger, who can really need that focus fire. think it's very solid. I'm not super convinced though. Maybe it's just because I'm a big fan.
I've seen Bristleback carry played in Shadow Demon before, and it wasn't pretty. But we'll see.
Okay.
He also is going to be 5. I think he needs farm as the.
They can do that. They can give him the lane while Jackie like farms jungle and stuff. I mean, he at least gets something. I like Motivate Trust lineup.
I'm going SMG.
Oh, our panel's divided. Will the casting pair also be divided, or will they stand united in casting and giving us this wonderful entertainment? We're gonna have to see. It's Gods and Lizard once again.
Thank you, Avo. We're here ready for what promises to be a great series. Lizard, I don't know if we're going to divide it, but we're definitely going to be united in that I think this is going to be a treat to watch this series.
Yeah, and I'm still here waiting for my full series, waiting for all 3 games, so maybe this will be the one. There are some very signature heroes being picked up by both of these sides. Masaro's being, well, Masa, playing Centaur. Well, he was in Fnatic, right? Or was he in T1?
Masaros, yeah.
Yeah. And he had this stint of like 10 games in which he only played Centaur. This is literally the hero that he loves to play. He built it in a different way as well, with something like a hood blade mail too. So has a little bit of a different approach to the game. But overall, I like the Shadow Demon a lot, just like the panel liked it. And then it's really nice into the Wind Ranger as well. Like we were talking about the break, that's nice versus Bristleback and Spirit Breaker, but versus Wind Ranger, the Purge is really damn neat. Like you can always take off that Wind Run and control her.
Yeah, so a bit of a perhaps surprise pick, something to catch SMG by surprise. But you know, Cap still had a lot of faith in this SMG draft. What do you see when you, as far as what SMG? What's the strength that they're looking for with the heroes they pick?
Well, they are definitely in the meta. They're definitely really difficult to take down. Once you get a couple of big items on Spirit Breaker, this hero, and it doesn't matter if you're support or a core, you do. Oh!
Here we go, Moon was baiting. His teammates were just on the hill. They showed Moon, but the rest of the team were waiting in the wings. Massa gets a 3-man hook stop, and that's going to send first blood onto Raging Potato, and they're not done. They want mid one as well. Can they get it? Whoa, he turns around. What are you doing?
Almost.
Be careful. Lee's going to LSA. Mid one. Is he trying to die?
Yeah, I think so.
I guess he wanted to die there. Interesting. Boombell is going to go down himself in a 2-for-1 trade. I guess he just got so low and he didn't want to use his regen, so he just, intentionally feeds.
Yeah, and he gets some items, right? Yeah, he gets some items from the base, so... Yeah, it's a strategical, I suppose. It's not something that you see very often that you like your carry to do. You know, like when you're position 5, you strategically feeds, sure, but perhaps not the best for a carry. Still though, he regens up, and that's important.
Yeah. So you got a free salve free base crypto is full health when he comes to lane. We'll see how his lane goes. It was the Lina who got the extra kill. So you're giving not first blood gold, but gold nonetheless the way of Gacha Boy, who is going to be having a good time mid against Moon, I have to imagine. But Moon himself also getting a kill there. So bit of a bloodbath to start game number 1 between these two teams.
Yeah, a pretty cool start. You don't really get this very often, so a treat to watch. Like just a full-on brawl. A nice bait, something reminiscing of Bulldog and Nature's Prophet in Roshan.
Yeah, we talked about it last game with the basically, you have a week to prepare, and Fnatic prepared that 5-man smoke gank to the safe lane. This feels similar where SMG planned this level 1 play where they show one hero on the low ground and the other 4 are waiting on the hill, kind of counterplay it.
And I just love how much effort they're putting into it, because like the way I'm seeing it, it doesn't give you that much of an advantage, right? Like in some situations, you'd even rather die, like Bristleback did. You'd rather die and just respawn and be full HP on the lane. Like, these moves usually just put you on a back foot, even if nothing else. So
and the next level play would be Motivate Trust not killing him. Like he just let him sit there on 1 health and you don't finish him off.
Yeah, just don't kill people. I know. You know what's actually interesting? That was I kid you not, that was a play on the lanes just a year or 2 ago. Like you would on purpose not kill a hero so that he's just sitting there being useless. Like a support, right? Like remember when supports were constantly feeding to the tier 2s, tier 1s at one point as well? Like you didn't want to kill them. Like if you kill them, they just bring all the items for themselves. They come back regioned up, plus they heal their carry. So you'd be happier if they're just standing behind scared.
We're in a bit of a different meta now. I mean, still the same thing. We're still seeing those supports occasionally throw away their lives at towers, but not quite the same way that it perhaps once was, with the old like Skywrath Mage 4 position, use all your mana, then go suicide.
Yeah, right now it's more of a just brawl until you die. That's how it feels like. If you're feeding, you don't really care about that kill way too much. You're just brawling until you die, and then you respawn and bring the salt to your carry. And it's very important in a lot of cases, because if you don't do that, they kill you, they dive the tower, and then they kill your carry as well because he's low.
He's getting very low here, getting a lot of kill stacks on Massa. Another scatter blast will come out mid one. Can he get the kill? He does. The bristleback proc coming just in time to clutch it, and Q getting low as well. Roger doesn't have mana for another Thunderstrike, so he can't get the follow-up kill. Nicely done by SMG.
Yeah, he really skilled this player mid one. He turned his back so well and moved backwards.
Ran away from the enemy.
Yeah, he just ran away. Like, you must love bristleback players and this hero in general.
What's he up to? He's going to go buy his Ring of Health now from the enemy shop, so he's going to have that sustain.
Charge mid?
And yeah.
Is this just for the rune? No.
To both, maybe. He's going to get the damage, and then looks like he's going to back off and go for the rune. He has got 10 stick charges on Afu from the lane. Shadow poison being spammed, I got to imagine. Something interesting SMG's been doing is this offlane Weaver. What do you make of Weaver in the core role?
I actually like it quite a lot. I don't mind. He might even die here, actually. There's a charge coming through, though.
Charge may just save his life. 5 poison sacks, though, and Jackie doesn't have a stun for a little while here. Raging Potato's waiting for another Chikuchi, but the poison sacks are too much.
I said I liked it, and I also, you know what else I like? I like feeding, so... It's exactly how I play the offlane Weaver. Same exact thing. No, I mean, it depends, right? Like, you're playing this Spirit Breaker Weaver combination on the offlane. Maybe they could have planted the position 3 Spirit Breaker as well. Top lane?
Dive in, Roger. Gonna glimpse him away, but he still goes down.
Figure out which team I'm on.
It's like you decide what's better for the lane on you, right? Like Weaver probably shouldn't die. He gets caught there by the sentry and disruption.
Fire have fortified their structures.
Lane.
Charge mid, yep. They start up with the shackle. Charge comes in, the LSA not there this time, but he does get it after the charge, and he may turn this one around with a disruption from Boombell, who's TP'd in. Moon shouldn't be going down here. In fact, he's going to look to turn and fight, but he's going to be careful. These poison sacks will add up.
Money to burn.
Careful, but... Alright.
Roger dying top, instantly TPing mid, refilling the bottle, as you should on a support. Proper plays from both of these teams. Shadow Demon rotation mid lane, preventing the gank from happening. Like crisp gameplay from both teams so far.
Nicely done by Disruptor. Denying the rune from the Lina, glimpses her away, then denies it. Meanwhile, Moon getting the bottle refill with the bottom water rune.
Bottom lane.
Trick is low. Skeleton's gonna fully chase him away back to his tower.
Get a kill.
And under the tower, yeah. Jackie goes down. Raises his head. The core Weaver you mentioned has its strength. The Q's rotating with a scatter blast, and
wait,
Weaver may be dying here. He came out of Chikuchi, right?
He came out of yeah, exactly. Like he did some. I think he earned himself for something, or used this. He definitely did something to stop Sakuchi there.
Yeah.
Like either an urn or a stick, because he was fine. He could get away.
Yeah, must have been the stick, because he popped the urn after he came out to try and heal himself.
Yeah. Probably one of those things where you just mess up. It happens. You're clicking too fast. Once in 100 games, you make a mistake.
APM is too high, is what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure. But he's going to get farm on this river. You'll have this vessel very fast. We'll see what he decides to go for. I don't think that it needs to differ a lot from a position 4 Weaver. Like, you just go for the same stuff. Maybe a Falcon Blade or Raindrop that he already has earlier, and that's it.
Mid one finishes
Radiant's
Vanguard in the
courier
safe
has
lane.
been
He is
killed.
free farming away.
What did that
Even
courier
gets a
ever do
courier
to
along the way.
anyone?
Bristle, Centaur, both of them going Vanguard. I don't imagine we'll see many kills up here unless there's like a ton of rotations.
Yeah, these two boys, like you don't even have. I look at the map more than I look at the game itself, right? Like 90% of the time. And when you see Centaur and Bristle on the lane, you're like, okay, I'm not even gonna go there.
They're just gonna have a truce where it's like, okay, let's not bother harassing each other. We'll just have like a farming truce. Nice charge bottom. They want to deny this rune away from the Lina, and Lina gets completely swarmed. Gets the kill onto Moon before maybe going down. One more hit from Apu will finish off the kill.
Dire's middle tower
It was the
isn't going to
Boombell
last
Shadow Demon
long.
who ended up grabbing the rune. Not that it impacted too much. The 2-for-1 trade in Motivate Fate Trust's favor. Both teams just prioritizing these rotations mid around these runes.
And because of Spirit Breaker, right? Like if you aren't playing around mid lane when there's a Spirit Breaker in the game, and that same Spirit Breaker doesn't have to babysit his off lane, your mid lane will feed. So well played by both of these teams. Like I like how SMG is controlling the runes. At the same time, I like how Motivate Trust is protecting their mid laner. Yeah, Lina did die, but only after she took down Wind Ranger. So that's in general a net win for the Lina.
And it feels like there's been 3 or 4 charges mid where they're trying to kill this Lina, and that's the first time they've managed to
Dire's
finally
bottom
kill
tower
Gacha
is under
Boy. So
attack.
give them quite a bit of time and effort to do so, but it seems like, yeah, constant focus on mid lane. This top lane doesn't need any help unless they want to go for a kill or aggressive play of some kind.
Dire's
It seems
courier
like maybe
has
that
been
is the
killed.
call as SMG rotating
They
both
always go
supports up
after the
top.
courier.
And they bring down Massa.
They have damage, but he's also tanky boy.
Yeah. He's got the Stampede as well if needed. Limps is being held by Roger, and Massa
They're
perhaps
beating
knowing
on
that he
Dire's top
can't
tower.
really keep you out of this one. He's holding onto the Stampede. Are they going to be able to bring him down now? The Limps comes. He's going to try Stampede. Actually still goes down after the Stampede
top
as the
tower
rest
is
of the
under
Motivate
attack.
Trust team have rotated in. What kind of kills can they find here? Roger on the Disruptor in all sorts of trouble will go down.
Beating
As
on
mid one's
Dire's
coming
top
back in with a
tower.
lot of quill stacks. Boombell's got to be careful here. He doesn't have a charges. It's already being used, and Boombell being chased by mid one. Should be able to get this kill with enough quill spam. He's careful not to get too many poison stacks on him.
It's one hero. It's one hero that's safe from any ganks, and that can join and help his supports on that position 1 and Bristleback. Right, the moment you have that Vanguard, you're just not worried. One of the reasons why Centaur died, Masaros played that
middle
perfectly.
tower is under
Masa.
attack.
Like he couldn't stampede early because of the glimpse, but he also couldn't survive because he had too many
better help
quill
Dire's
sprays
middle
on him.
tower.
So the moment he pops the stampede, he already has like 7-8 out. He dies in one shot.
Dire's middle tower is
Down
under
bottom,
attack.
yeah, they want to bring down Jackie. Has got the reincarnation, so can they kill him a second time? The charge
Dire's
comes at his
structures are
reincarnation, so they
fortified.
haven't got the charge stun. And
Radiant's
there's
top
Gacha Boy
tower-
TPing on down here. He's hit the Light Striker right
Dire's
onto
middle
Moon
tower isn't
Wind
going to
Ranger.
last long.
Wind Ranger going to keep him alive for now. He's still got an illusion rune as well, and they've done a good job locking down Jackie. Hits the power shot to get him low. Doesn't have an armlet completed yet. And as a result, it looks like he is going to end up going down. But Raging Potato, nice time lapse, dodges some damage coming out from Gacha Boy. And they brought down Wraith King. Maybe a little bit careful here. Very low, only has the one earn charge as they get the disruption into LSA combo. Apu just going to try charge his way out of there, and he's out. Well done by SMG to get the kill on the Wraith King.
Radiant's middle tower
Good
could
old
use some
Spirit
help.
Breaker things. Just getting away, and yeah, they get two kills on the Wraith King, right? They kill those. He has the ulti.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Down bottom, they want Moon. Moon accepts his fate here. He's trying to bring down the Snapfire with him, but he may just get Apu killed. Full Motivate Trust rotation down bottom. 3 poison stacks will be enough to bring down Apu. End his killing streak.
They need to be just a little bit faster when it comes to disengaging. That's something
Someone
that
better
I
help Dire's middle tower.
noticed. When they make a play, they stick around a little bit too long. Wraith King has just enough time to even respawn and come back and get counter kills. So a good thing
Dire's
turned
middle
kinda
tower
badly
has been
for
denied.
them. At the same time, you lost mid tower to creeps.
Potato. Oh, nice cookie stun. And they've got 3 poison stacks. The Boombell out of mana means he can't get any more. The power shot. Boombell gets him low, and Raging Potato just going to time lapse to heal on up.
He's going in.
Right.
He's going for more.
Oh, yeah. You're right. This Weaver is just making the support line
Double kill.
miserable. He's just killed both supports more or less by himself.
Yeah, Weaver is extremely strong, in my opinion, at the moment. This hero is legit when you're playing versus supports that can't really deal with you. Shadow Demon and Snapfire are not the best. Like they don't have reliable disables or way. Like they do disruption, cookie, but it's not really the greatest. He's still going to catch up to you, and you can't get away. And he's also not going for the standard build that I've seen recently, and that's maxing out the swarm and jamming attack you leave on just one level.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They're so difficult to deal with.
Dire's top
Having the
tower
one
is
point,
under attack.
even the 1 point in bugs, yeah, you still
Not
need
much
the full
good's
hits.
happening to Radiant's bottom tower.
One of those spells. I've seen a lot of people talk about Weaver. It's like, man, that's Swarm.
Are those cracks in
It just
Dire's
kills you, right? Like, they use Storm on you and the Vessel, and there's just so much damage coming from those two spells that you just die to the bugs. It's very, very difficult.
I like that he's going into, like, now transitioning into like a semi-carry build. Looks like he's going for a Maelstrom as well as the Wind Ranger.
Are those cracks in Dire's top tower?
So it's kind of the hero, and the itemization on the hero is definitely a difficult thing to
Radiant's bottom tower's got
decide on what's the best when you're playing it as
Beating on
a
Dire's top
tree,
tower.
right?
Ooh, Dire's courier got killed.
Maelstrom will allow you to farm and dish out some right-click damage. At the same time, do you truly need to do that? You have a Bristleback and a Wind Ranger. More likely is that you need some more utility for your team. But
Yeah.
still, like, I've been in the same situation. I know exactly how he feels. He's like, yeah, I'm having such a good game. If I go for this, maybe I'll just be able to completely dominate. I get the BKB Maelstrom. I kill supports on my own. I see it. And it will work as long as he doesn't feed right now. If it goes well for him in the mid game, it will be great.
Charge on in, they get off the Demonic Purge, but instead he's going to go for the Nether Strike and try and bring down Boombah, but the Stampede looking to cover the retreat. Can Masteros catch anyone in Zafu? He gets hit by the Hoof Stomp. Looks like he should be going down with the Poison Stacks. The Mortimer's Kisses flying in as well. They'll trade reports for now.
Lena is being chased. Look.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Boys in the front lines. He needs to be a little bit careful here, but on the back line, just Raging Potato zoning away the rest of Motivate Trust. And
Radiant's middle tower shouldn't
Actually's
have
got
to
3
take
heroes on him. This Wraith King has got Reincarnation, but it looks like he's potentially going to be forced to at least commit the ultimate. Nope, they're not going to. I think recognizing that they don't want to die the tier 2 tower, they back off. And SMG playing very aggressively, but there's just a meat shield in the front of them. First the Wraith King, and now the Centaur.
Yeah, there was a glimpse available, and now Weaver.
Weaver throws away his life. You mentioned he can't afford to just go in and feed. The Wind Ranger with the last attack to finish off the Snapfires. Coming in from Ambu, the Shackle onto the Raging King. He has got the Incarnation here. Static Storm going to be awaiting him on the respawn, but I don't think they want to pull this one up. He's too close to the tier 2 tower.
Yeah, this series and this game is just so much scrappier than the last one. The team fights, maybe it's because of the heroes as well. Like you have this Wraith King on one side, Bristle on the other, Centaur. They're just so tanky, and you kind of want to push it to the limit. So maybe that's one of the reasons why it's the way it is at the moment.
The one thing you mentioned, like with the Weaver's build, is like, you know, with Maelstrom BKB, it feels like he needs that BKB. Like with this Maelstrom, like there's so many stuns that he can't just run in and right click.
Yeah, like if he gets disrupted into an LSA, that could happen right now on the bottom lane, right? One of those things could just kill him instantly. You do have that vitality booster from the Vessel, but it's just not enough. So, yeah, and you're taking a lot of space. That's another problem. You're playing, if you are building into this Maelstrom, you necessarily are, like what he's doing right now. He's at the Ancients. He's not really looking to make a play. He's stacking the Ancients and farming away.
Stacking them for his team, though, it looks like.
Hopefully.
He stacked them. He's not farming them yet, so maybe, yeah, it's for the team.
It looks that way, yeah. He's stacking for probably Bristle.
Dire's bottom tower
They
is
scan the
under
Roshan, but it may be too late. It's already very, very low, and it looks like SMG It's snuffed on by Motivate Trust. This Bristleback is just so strong right now with the Aghanim Scepter, and now gets an Aegis as well with a charge coming on through. Master gets split by this one. Have they got the damage to bring him down? They drop the Static Storm on top of him as well, but the Mortimer's Kisses counterplay maybe too much. For SMG, if they're not careful here, Arthur goes down to the Laguna Blade, but they do kill the Centaur. In the process, now Mid One just charging forward with this Aghanim Scepter. Yep, Lena being pulled back in. And they get a big kill. Gotcha boy, fearless, going down.
I have to say, I was a bit critical on the Weaver. At the same time, when you think about the whole composition, you do have a Spirit Breaker that will go in. You do have Bristleback that will kind of serve that front-lining utility, even though that's not necessarily maybe the whole of their job, right? But still, they will give you that, so you will be able to dish out the damage with the Weaver, which is quite alright. And another hero that likes that a lot is Disruptor, right? And we could see it in that last fight. As long as you're the ones making the offense, as long as you're the ones chasing, that glimpse is so good.
Hero like Lena, unless you're playing with BKB, Disruptor can be very hard to play into. Top lane, Jackie is alone, and they're holding the glimpse knowing he cannot TP out. And he doesn't have reincarnation. Even if he did, they may just kill him twice here, but no rotations coming. Motivate Trust just leaving him to the wolves.
And not necessarily the best position to be in as the Radiant carry, to be farming in and showing yourself. I mean, he was visible on the maps. I'm not exactly sure what he was thinking, because if you look at his teammates, they're giving a ton of information on where the enemy team isn't. So you should anticipate that.
Now they know where the enemy is because they're charging Gacha Boy all the way from top. Spirit Breaker's coming in to disrupt the TP. And Gacha Boy, it's just got no way out. He gets the Stampede, but there's a glimpse if they need it. They're not even going to have to use glimpse. Disruptor was holding it the entire time in case he did go for some kind of TP out or Stampede away.
Meanwhile, Weaver, with that Maelstrom, he's actually hunting already. Together with Mid One, they're going in.
Walking mid lane, the no boost Weaver. Gonna get out of the way. Bristleback coming through. He wants the Shadow Demon. There's a charge elsewhere on the Master, but first they're gonna look to bring down the supports. He does manage to tumble his way to the high ground, buy himself some time, but it's to the north in the river where Arfu fighting off a bit more than he can chew, but with a Shadow Amulet, is using that to hide and juke his way through some trees here. They want Jackie again. He doesn't have a TP. He TP'd up here. Luckily, it seems for him, SMG don't realize where he is.
As well, Mid One. Yeah, he's...
Oh, they walk into each other. Has ultimate, but the T1 tower there. Mid One maybe died this because of the Aegis.
Yeah, they're gonna charge him now. They're going for this for sure.
Charge. Okay, it's gonna come in after the disruption. Yeah, they connect with the charge. Then the reincarnation's gonna proc here. And with the swarm bugs, they're just going to chase Jackie down. Midline can use his Aegis to dive these towers. They need something to stop the charging Bristleback, but Midline is just unstoppable. He's an unstoppable charging cow who's just gonna shred apart Motivate Trust. And there's nothing they can do about it.
They have two. They have Spirit Breaker as well that's charging in together. They did lose Disruptor around the triangle, around the bottom lane, that it was getting warded up and he just died there, but it's a small price to pay for all the kills that you're getting. And Lena...
Not done. They got the charge though.
Top tower is under attack.
Lena thought she could use this Shadow Blade, but they're ready for Gacha Boy. Kill after kill after. The second he sees a hero on the map, he's just clicking charge. Doesn't matter where they are, he'll charge across the whole damn map and his team will TP in.
I'm not sure how he spotted the Lena. Was it the creeps? Probably the creeps, because this observer was just planted, so... yeah, you have to be extremely careful about how you show yourself and where you show yourself on the map. Because Spirit Breaker... You saw this build, right? With phases, Windlace, and Shadow Blade. Like, he takes 1 second from one part of the map to the other. He will catch you.
Everywhere. And Centaur does a good job getting in the enemy Ancients and cutting some waves, but it's so dangerous to try and cut any waves. Motivate Trust being forced to almost play together because of the Spirit Breaker factor. Good news is they maybe have an opening now with this Aegis expiring. This is the time where making a play makes the most sense for them, and they have smoked up hunting, trying to sweep through that jungle and ideally find this Bristleback.
with the smoke, are they actually able to do a lot? Like, yeah, you want to get the kill, but can you? Even if you find the bristleback, I feel like it will be extremely difficult to take him down.
They scan their triangle, so they know somebody was up near their ancients, but now a fight seems to be coming around this mid lane.
Okay, they have some things now. The Blink Dagger on Shadow Demon and the Desolator on Wraith King might help them out in fights. Because you can reset. It's easy for Shadow Demon to either catch someone or to blink in and help a teammate. So.
Radiant's middle tower
nice.
could use some help.
I would really like to see BKB into Aghanim's on Weevil. Yeah, you just shot
He needs to TP soon. Charge coming his way. He's going to see it on the Observer ward. He hasn't TP'd though. Oh no, and he hasn't got reincarnation. I'm surprised he didn't see it coming his way with the Observer ward, but he's just going to go down.
Do you think he'd managed to TP after you see the Spirit Breaker on that ward? Because because remember that Spirit Breaker will speed up with phase boots and bulldoze in that last few seconds.
Like, yeah, I think you're probably right. It would have been too late once he sees him on the ward, even though it looks far away.
Yeah, I think most likely you don't get out there. So far, he's been very.
He actually saw Afu, but even if you get Afu there, it doesn't seem like he gets killed.
Are those
They're going to put bottom tier 2, they're all keeping in. Motivate Trust feel like this is the time to fight. Can they kill the Bristleback? This is going to be tense. They go with the Mormon's Kiss. The static shot is there. Mid one getting down low. Is the damage enough? Just barely. The charge from the river a little bit too late. That's the hero they needed to save mid one. And now with the Sapphire Cookies, they're going to stun up Afu as well. But on the backline, there's Rage of Potato. He's doing some good damage here. One of the supports himself. He's going now out. And another charge coming through, getting 3 heroes. Moves BKB on the win range with a reset where he's healing back up. He's got power shots from the trees if he wants to use them. Afu in the front lines with a Shadow Blade as well. They catch Jackie and he's in all sorts of trouble. Luckily has the reincarnation, but the supports in the backlines are being hunted, and Gaku Boy on the leader. He's been scouted out by the Dust, and he's going to go down to the Weaver right clicks. Crazy Potato just eating him up alive. The Masteros return with the buyback, may kill a Afu, but even that won't be enough. He charges his way out of there, stuns up Masa. He's just toying with him, playing with his food, and Masa is going to go down and motivate Trello get absolutely destroyed.
Those were some extremely clutch plays from SMG. Like, clutching it out, left, right, and center. Yeah, they do lose the Bristleback early on. Shouldn't care when you have an additional 3 cores, I would say. Even. Like, the Spirit Breaker feels like a core, the Weaver is a core, and Wind Ranger as well, just clutching it out with what you call BKB, Wind Run, and the Region Rune. Lena used everything she could on Moon and still didn't take him down.
Sounds like invulnerability with like perma healing there.
Yeah, pretty much. And then you have to deal with the Weaver as well, who has ulti, right? You just can't kill anything.
They're on the high ground. They want to take this Rax here. Aegis or no Aegis, they feel like timing to go for it. Immediately Rax gets low. They'll take it now, so SMG can feel like they've got what they came for. But they want more with Center still dead. Rage the King wants to go diving in on the backline, wants to catch some of these supports, and Boombell absolutely melts. Zabu's charge comes flying, and he never strikes into the fountain. A bit over-aggressive from SMG. Not sure Afu realized he would end up in the fountain with that Nether Strike.
I don't understand what you mean, over-aggressive. That's how you play Breaker.
There's aggressive and over-aggressive, and both are fine.
Exactly. It's just forward. Like, if you, there's something about canceling that charge and going backwards with Spirit Breakers. It's just, once you start playing that hero a lot, like, there's no back. Like, can't.
He hit the charge. He's like, let's go even further and pop the ultimate. My teammate, surely we can kill this Lena, right?
Top tower has
and it was so obvious that he's gonna end up in the fountain with the ulti. Like, it's like, he knows that he will die, but it doesn't matter.
He's sending a message.
Exactly.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Shadow, maybe regretting not going for a BKB for the Shadow Blade. I just like this thing. To motivate us in trouble being chased back to their next. Cube does They actually get the stun on the Weaver. Uh-oh.
Yep. I think they're maybe feeling themselves a little too much now on the side of SMG.
Calm down. Let's throw in kind of moment. I'm sure the team calms after the last couple deaths. Let's wait for Shen, play smart.
Spirit Breakers, that okay, you can take that, but now Weaver dying as well. It's yeah, it's not really disciplined. You can't try to take the game if few moments happen.
Great one. Coming in, you catch the Shadow Demon. So, put it up on mid one. Can they first pin down the Mortimer's Kisses of Laguna Blade? Mid one's dead as well. Lugia look to come in and save the day. He's kind of on his own. He's looking to bring down Gapter Boy, but the LSA ties perfectly as the charge will finish off the lead now. So, good job by Moon and to salvage a terrible fight for SMG. Back. Nice sort of pickups where you're not too happy with it, as yeah, they want Spirit Break. They're looking to turn and fight. They've got a regen here on the Wind Ranger, and with Raging Potato showing up, he's still got a BKB, but they've lost Spirit Breaker. SMG seems to be going a bit one by one. That's got Reincarnation here. They're trying to kill him, but he's going to have that second life if needed. Azeroth may be the better target, and yeah, they'll take out the Centaur instead, so it ends up okay for SMG.
Definitely a better target for them to finish off the Centaur. Also, you can see that both of these teams, like we talked about them being scrappy a little bit when it comes to teamfights early on, right? Because of the heroes that they have. Like one side Centaur, on the other Bristleback, Red King, whatnot. But they're truly not that disciplined in teamfights, and you can see it here. After a couple of really good kills on the side of like Motivate Trust, they got a couple of really good kills, and then they continued even further, and then they fed the Centaur for pretty much no reason. It's very unlikely that you get an additional kill until the hero respawns. And the way SMG is playing, trying to fight without the Spirit Breaker, Weaver dying on the high ground. Maybe just, you know, you've been charging enough. Chill out a little. Use some other teams, you know, like it's more disciplined players.
Game defined so far by the action of both teams. 30 kills to 22, almost 2 kills a minute.
Definitely makes,
We haven't seen the last of him.
definitely makes for a fun game.
Oh yeah. Alright. Surely he's not going for that outfit. Getting the memo that, you know, we're gonna play it safe. Or at least safer.
He's also queuing up the Aghanims. Pretty nice.
That's for me.
Who took the shard, by the way? Was it the Bristle? No?
Weaver had one queued up. I don't know if Weaver bought it or got that first one. It looks like... I think Ranger took it, because I think Weaver bought his one.
Yeah, very likely. Such a nice shard to have on Weaver as well when you're playing versus any invis like Shadow Blades, Glimmer Capes, whatever. And, by the way, this quiver, enchanted quiver on Weaver just feels so good. When you get level 25, I know we're not getting there, but if it happens, I actually keep enchanted quiver in the inventory. If you get, even though it's like minute 50 or whatnot, doesn't matter. Enchanted quiver plus the one gem attack. If you have a crit or something, you can kill a support from a mile away. It's... I know we're not getting there, but still, it's something to look forward to.
Yeah. It's not... If this game goes to 40, I think 40 minutes, he might be there, depending on how
It's not possible, yeah.
And Motivate Trust now have some of these items to kind of stall this game out a bit, or at least take some better fights. With the BKB on Lena and Wraith getting close to his BKB, high ground is not going to necessarily be the easiest thing for SMG. Particularly if he gets up to Agony Center. That feels like an enemy. They were ready for this. They had the charge, and there's no TP now. Sadness.
And they don't even need it.
Yeah.
They don't need the dust because of the swarm, even if they...
Oh, they have a gem even.
yeah, that's true. How can you hitting the tower for so long?
They've gone in. What a shackle in focus fire. Deletes Masaros. The damage just overwhelming the Sentinel, the Desolator, and Nails.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yep. The Bristleback was there to get some extra minus armor and damage in. Just, I'm surprised they're not taking the high ground between Ranger as well. It was a double damage.
Radiant's middle tower.
Centaur wishing it was like 2012 where
Look what
you
they're
can't
doing to
back
Radiant's
Nesso
middle
and
barracks.
Maelstrom. What is this? These aren't meant to back.
Radiant's middle barracks have fallen.
He just melts. And jumping
Radiant's
again.
middle barracks have
Something
fallen.
out of defensive disruption, and Boombell does get the blink away. They may just go for the base. Damn, Jets boys, there's a Wraith King, and he's looking like switchy support there. They look second time, trapped in the Kinetical Attack Storm, and he just gets instantly deleted. They do take out the Aegis on Big One's Bristleback. Can they come the second time? But are they actually trying to fight from their fountain? It feels like that's the safest place for them to be, but there's a Jackal. It's caught Lena. As a result, the Moon is just too much damage. Back on the Wraith King, Centaur dead as well, and they can go for the tier 4 towers of Throne now, or they can just let Motivate trust GG out.
Is under attack.
Interesting game.
Victory.
I say, like, the last series that we witnessed was kind of disciplined. It was professional Dota. It's what you expect from a DPC, right? The upper division. This game, it's like they have something personal against each other. Like it's like a brawl fest. There's no, it's like a pub. There's absolutely no true strategy behind what they're doing. They're just running at each other, disregarding the Spirit Breaker charges and whatnot. Just
5 seconds remaining. Dire team's turn to ban.
遇到还 SMG，感觉个人实力还是稍微强一点啊。
Radiant team's turn to ban. Dire team
又
ban.
弱。
As players, you can win these games. You just need the tools to be able to do.
I mean, that's what
10 seconds
Boom was
remaining.
doing. Like that's what when they were getting like, oh, how do we decide our draft? So I just listen
5
to what Mushi
seconds
says. That's
remaining.
it.
Yeah.
And that's what gets it. For SMG though, they don't. Who's this? Who's helping them?
Do they have one?
One moment, please.
In that moment, I will say that
Kenshi.
motivate, trust. Oh wait, what? Go on.
Kenshi.
Who's also their manager.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, he fulfills a lot of roles.
I
Radiant
remember we
team
had this
ban.
conversation because Nirvana, Malaysia? What?
What a throwback!
Damn,
Huh?
what the old school. So is Lakel's. Like I remember watching him early Dota 2.
He also was in Dota 1. That's how old he is.
Rocat
So
Trust.
old and
10
decrepit.
I mean,
seconds
Lakills
remaining.
was incredibly old. He was a Naga Siren player back when like Miracle was
5
innovating and
seconds
Lakills was
remaining.
innovating with him, and everyone was scared of their Naga Sirens. And now that hero's dead, and Sandboy plays it.
Speaking of age, Team SMG has the oldest average. Remember I was talking about how Boombell is the oldest player
Dire
in the
team's
Southeast
turn to
Asian
pick.
DP. Team SMG, if you look at them, they're a lot of older players.
Raji,
fun
Raging
fact.
Potato.
Yeah,
Is
I
Afu
mean,
old too?
Afu is I think the youngest of the group. One is obviously not, but some years on average,
10 seconds remaining.
beat out most of the other. Southeast Asia is a relatively young.
5 seconds
Go
remaining.
to
Turn to
Eastern
pick.
Europe.
Yeah, geez. 30 and 40 Dota. Feel like we needed.
We just witnessed Motivate Trust spend 1 whole minute deciding if they want to Snapfire or Weaver. And my
You guys
my
don't
good
laugh at my
friends
jokes
don't
nearly
care
as
at
much
all.
as I do.
I hate you, Cap.
I thought it was hilarious.
seconds.
Also, I
remaining.
can't believe that the 30-year-old is calling people at 30 geriatric.
5 seconds
Life
remaining.
is so long, dude.
31 years
I've
old,
been
actually.
building Cap's coffin over my stay here in LA.
Wait,
It's
what
been
what
working
happened?
on
We
it.
went from
He's
having
so
18
old.
pictures
Radiant
of
team's
me
turn to
to
pick.
building my coffin. What the hell?
I'm just experimenting with a straw doll.
Oh,
and I
no.
stick it with pins,
got
but
a
instead I just
DC.
stick pictures of you with pins instead, and I hope.
I think we're in the wrong state for that. But
True.
we have to go to a draft. So let's
I've
leave
been
the-
trying to
remaining.
talk
let's
about the
leave the
draft
voodoo.
for like 2 minutes.
Chief,
You guys
please,
won't
draft
Draft
stop.
started.
Five
Can we
seconds
please
so
talk about
much.
the heroes are picked?
Oh
right?
my god. So guess what, guys? Because SMG won the game 1 coin flip, it means Motivate Trust got priority. And guess what? They had first pick again. They wanted to choose between Weaver or Snapfire. They decided on Snapfire, which gives Weaver to SMG. And now potentially going to see their 4-pick carry in the first phase, their staple drafting plan. Now, something I will give a lot of credit to SMG for game 1 is that not only did they suss out that they like first pick and take it from them, but they also let Wraith King through and made a draft that said, hey, we don't care if you want your Wraith King. We're going to beat you anyway. So now at Motivate Trust, like, okay, are they feeling shaky? Are they want to trying something new? Or are they just going to Wraith King
Dire
on-
team's turn to pick.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Should they wait on the 4th pick?
into Bloodseeker? Hell yeah, let's go.
They
Okay.
Okay, so it's either what they've done so far is Terrorblade, Wraith King, Tidehunter, and then Mars is banned. So
10
that's
seconds
been
remaining.
their MO so far.
Dire team's turn to ban.
I hope they don't draft.
They're
Radiant
trying the
team's turn
second
to
strat
ban.
they
This
have.
is much better against Bloodseeker than Wraith.
They have.
Not even close.
Dare you.
Seriously.
trying to undermine me as an analyst?
Look, sorry, but Bloodseeker, you go shard, and Wraith King is actually not that scary. You just need to kite him properly. With Dusa, there's no build you will beat Dusa.
Motivate Trust have 2 strats, and I like them. I like them both. And this
10
is the
seconds
second one.
remaining.
It's the one they do less often, but it has good success.
Better here.
Yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
I actually like that in the Mineski Masters, Boom beat their Medusa, and then we're like, we're just going to ban it anyway. We just don't care. We don't want to deal with this.
Yeah, it's scary.
What position they play Bloodseeker? I hope it's an off.
I-
Put it anywhere.
Now it has to be an off.
Dire
If they
team
go
ban.
Bloodseeker carry, then you might as well.
I was about to say, seeing mid one's style of play, I don't
Radiant
see
team
him
ban.
playing Bloodseeker here. That'd be a bit weird to me.
Why?
Well, he's always played these like 4p1 carries, or like the draft revolves around me and I'm gonna be the biggest thing, right? It's his Luna, his Bristleback. Like both these heroes are like, the draft is me. I am the draft. Bloodseeker doesn't scream like that to me. He's just like a hero that like adds
10
to the draft.
seconds
He'll like maybe
remaining.
buff something else up, or he'll answer a problem. He's not like,
5
you know,
seconds
I am
remaining.
the Bloodseeker draft. Have you ever heard of a Bloodseeker draft? I haven't.
No, yeah, because I just think there's not very many good Bloodseeker carry players.
Yeah, I mean,
No, seriously, like you watch Hector from B Schools, who's a Bloodseeker carry player.
Dire
He
team's
makes it
turn
seem
to
like that.
ban.
It's just a faster Luna. How I think is that when we've seen Bloodseeker carry start to come into fruition, many people assume this hero is really easy to play, which he is.
Radiant team's turn to ban.
And they go, oh, anyone can play it, and they itemize incorrectly, they play the timings incorrectly, and it looks bad. But when you look at teams that have played this for years, it actually seems, again, just a faster Luna. It's a Deathball Luna.
I don't know if it's good as
Not,
Luna.
don't get me
like-
wrong. This game is awful because you don't win against Lusa. But
Yeah.
it is that idea. It is not as
10
good as against
seconds
Luna right now,
remaining.
especially. But when it was like good, that was the idea. Just you play faster. You farm
5
crazy.
seconds
Radiant
remaining.
team, because
Turn to
Luna
pick.
is like what
Dire
she
team's
gives
turn to
is
pick.
the Orator team, the
Oh, he might be carry though.
Yo, I don't wanna harsh your guys' conversation here.
but I really want to discuss this for 20 minutes, Cap.
What do you think about 5 flip?
Did you just like spend 10 minutes researching this while we had our discussion? You're like, yes, I
10
found it. I
seconds
found
No,
remaining.
it.
I've been holding it for a while.
Okay,
I was
go
gonna
ahead.
tell you, but you guys were
sorry.
really going on.
Sorry,
on it.
brother.
5
Go ahead.
seconds
Apparently the
remaining.
last time they.
It was, yeah.
Okay,
I know
cool.
that Raji does do it.
All right. I don't know.
I,
Why
I,
would you do that?
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Why would you do that to yourself? Yeah, I mean, I think in a
Mm.
weird way, it's fine as a
Dire team's turn
surprise,
to
like,
pick.
haha, we're switching carry.
spirit.
If you get a really good carry matchup, but like, you've already that's something you can only do once. It literally took me 10 seconds of research to be able to find that. Like, it's not gonna trick, motivate, trust.
It
you
might.
know?
You don't know.
God, I hope.
What's the strength, Cheapo?
The strength of what?
Of
Sorry.
the potentially flexing as a 5. Is there any strength?
Oh,
10
I don't know.
seconds
I mean,
remaining.
flexing is always fun. I don't know.
Is it just a debate? Like, is there actually
I
anything?
mean, the
5
nice
seconds
thing I
remaining.
see about it, at least, is that it dissuades Motivate Trust from picking up Pango, and we know they like it. And now it means they know they don't have to, because I think they banned it in first phase bans.
Yeah, they did
last
last
time.
time,
Yeah,
yeah.
so they're saying, okay, well, we pick Bloodseeker.
Dire
Please don't
team's
pick
turn to
Pango. They're
ban.
like, okay, we won't pick Pango,
Lena.
and then they don't have to ban it in the second phase. They just take it for themselves. There's one less counter in the pool. That's good.
In a way,
At
like
least
that,
that.
I
And
like
then
that.
yeah, it's only
Okay.
a 5.
Radiant team's
What is
turn to
a 5?
ban.
Is it fine enough?
He's gonna rupture the enemy. I think that's the important part, right?
Yeah, I have no idea like what it does for you in lane, but like if you can get it out of the laning phase, it makes some degree of sense, right? Like your first 3 and 4 out of your spells don't require you to
10
actually
seconds
have farm.
remaining.
You've got Blood Rage,
You can always just put on your carry as well.
5
which
seconds
gives
remaining.
attack speed and
Radiant team
spell
ban.
amp. I'm actually looking at the numbers now to figure out whether or not it's good. 75 attack speed, a good amount.
Damage a second.
With 30% outgoing spell damage amp, you put that on
That's
Alina.
huge, yeah.
Like that's actually quite a bit. Obviously
10 seconds remaining.
nuke rupture is fantastic
5 seconds remaining.
ability nuke spell to be able to have from support. It's just I just can't see what you would do for some weirded out. Motivate Trust are like, yep, you picked the Luna last time. We know this is the thing you can do.
We know what you want.
So what carry do you want then? I guess.
Rough out here because Motivate Trust have like built a nice draft around Medusa. They have Ogre to buff her up. They have Ember to make space for her with Snapfire. They just need like an offlaner here to like complete that trio or quad of heroes that want to like play around. They can bring Medusa in whenever they feel like it. SMG on the other hand are like, I'm trying to like
Dire
figure out what they
team's turn
have
to
because
pick.
Bloodseeker's like position is unclear to me, and that kind of like that decides a lot of what they have.
Well, let's assume it's the 5 and go. For the
We
carry.
could assume it's a 5. They have team fight. They have damage. They're missing something that scales into Medusa. I don't know if there's a hero that like speeds up their
10
draft
seconds
enough
remaining.
to beat Medusa's timings. So they might just pick.
5 seconds remaining.
Do they have last pick? They do. I think they just like wait and see what Motivate Trust pick here, and then try and just give themselves like a really strong lane. Because their lanes should be stronger than Motivate Trusts. If they can just win lanes and they can snowball the game, you just take good fights with roll.
I like that. How does Motivate Trust stop?
How do they start fights?
How do they stop? Yeah, how do they make sure they don't? What's the final pick that you're the idea at least?
Figure out what their last pick. They need, I think, additional. And Tidehunter would have been good. Mars already banned.
Why is Centaur so unloved? He's great.
And Bloodseeker?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I mean, like, it's not about that. It's just about the lane. Like, he's a strong laner with Snap. If I'm looking at this idea of like strengthening your lanes, so the SMG don't own you, but
we don't know what the carry is.
that's true. Yeah.
I would have a hard time agreeing with.
Radiant team's turn to
Just
pick.
slaughter it up. Come on. Oh, no, they pick
Beastmaster.
Yeah, that takes advantage of the Bloodseeker's weak laning stage as well. Because how do you kill boards with Bloodseeker and stop microing them together?
Yep. There are heroes I feel are really good against him, or like PA is a counter to
10 seconds
Beastmaster in
remaining.
lane. I don't know how her quarter-core matchup against the
5
but
seconds
I know PA
remaining.
is a favored carry against Beastmaster, so is Naga, but I would not like to see Naga. That would make me very unhappy.
They had a combo for it. I'm trying to think of a range
Admiral
Choose your
hero,
hero.
just because that's what I'm with
Oh.
Bloodseeker 5, but
Yay.
That's fascinating.
Conquer's interesting.
that hero doesn't take advantage of the attacks. Feel like it really takes advantage of Spell Amp. and
Lane.
Bloodseeker.
I mean, this is the
Better lane.
beating the tempo, right? Their tempo is
yes.
faster than Motivate
Yes.
Trust, and that's what they're aiming for. It means they're gonna mitigate Beastmaster's ability to take their tower early because Conquer's so good in lane and like deep pushes and stuff, and he can stand there and he's happy. And yeah, they're gonna have to just be Motivate Trust timing because I think they do outcarry them.
So last time SMG did similar, they tried to out-tempo carry Bristleback. They succeeded. Will they succeed?
10 seconds
They have
remaining.
pretty decent ability to fight, I would say, under their towers.
5
so I think
seconds
they could stop
remaining.
them. I think it's fine. I like Motivate Trust lineup a lot.
Okay.
I think for SMG to win a lot of this game, it's off the back of Moon. And I think Motivate Trust lineup is just a little bit simpler to be able to run. But I've never seen Bloodseeker 5, so I'm interested to learn.
All right.
Same.
I can't wait to learn and see if SMG's lineup work yet again. Or perhaps we just get a third game, which is always wonderful. And for those 3 potential games, we would have the same casting duo because they're wonderful, because they're great, and they always narrate with the utmost passion. It's Lizard.
Thank you, Avo. Too kind, too sweet. I think he's buttering me up, Lizard, but you know, I'm okay with that. How are you doing?
Yeah, his voice is just a song to my ears. Fine, I enjoy it. He can butter us up anytime with his compliments and whatnot. How are you feeling about the position 5 Bloodseeker?
It's kind of been a Rogi classic. Like, maybe not classic, like he plays it a bit. Like, so they've run this 5-position Bloodseeker throughout past DPC seasons. I believe you were covering some of those games. My interpretation is they saw the last 2 games where Motivate Trust played first pick, and both times around they picked Pengo. So I think they picked Bloodseeker, basically say, we're not going to give you Pengo because you don't want to pick Pengo in a Bloodseeker.
Mm-hmm. So
That's what I see.
So it's a preempted like counter snatch pick or something like that. You get the Bloodseeker, you have the Pango, you have a Weaver as well. It's not countered, something like that, I guess.
Perhaps. I mean, what are you seeing anything? What are you seeing when they go for a 5-position Bloodseeker? What's kind of the strength of this hero, and what does it bring to the table?
I'm not seeing anything at all. Like maybe a couple of patches back when the Blood Rite was actually sick, when the damage was too good. Maybe back then. Yeah. Right now, I'm not feeling it, but sometimes this game teaches you things that you didn't know and you want to learn. Sometimes it teaches you things that you don't want to learn and you didn't know that you never wanted to know, or something like that. I don't know. In any case, Bloodseeker position 5 is scrambling my brain. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we'll have to see how this unique hero in a unique role pans out. And SMG, they've got they've got the cushion, you know. They can afford to lose a game. So if it turns out Bloodseeker 5 is, no good, then they at least can take us to that
30 seconds to
missing
battle.
game 3 that we somehow seem to be unable to find.
If anything does it, it's going to be a position 5 Bloodseeker. That's how I see it. What do you have? You have an AoE. You have an AoE silence, right? Your armor in the lane itself is actually super high. Like you get 5 armor plus he has Ring of Protection, so that's pretty solid. Overall, it's not like I'm trolling, but as you said, they have played this hero before and they do know what's up and they have a strategy behind it. So they know what they're doing.
See how it kind of pans out and what the idea behind it is. They're pairing it with a mid-1 Kunkka, so it's a carry that doesn't necessarily need it. Like, Kunkka's just a strong laning hero, so I guess that's making up for the fact that Bloodseeker perhaps not the best.
Yeah, look, I'm joking with them and their Bloodseeker pick, and I used to be, like, long time ago when Meepo needed level 6 for ultimate, I used to play Meepo support. And you know what, actually, my teams usually would have the same general idea. Let's pick a carry that's completely self-sufficient, and then it doesn't matter what the support is. You can greed out a little bit. I think that's the case here too. Bloodseeker is doing fine at the moment, though.
Yeah, he's getting some good early harass onto Q in that bottom lane. The level 1 blood rate, it's still solid. It's not quite what it used to be, but can pretty much help secure every range last hit if you want to use it. So that's definitely one of the things we're going to see out of that lane. Looking at some of other, maybe not yet. There's a bit of action. They're still trading blows down bottom. Roger zoning them away with another blood right. As some of these other lanes, top lane, we do get the Pangolier. On the SMG side, this has been the hero that Motivate Trust played in both games against TNC, but this time around SMG get it. Pango has been really popular in the SEA region.
Yeah, I think this hero just didn't go out of the meta for the whole last year. Maybe some small stints of a week or two in which he's not picked quite often, but teams just like the Pangos. And there are, like, you don't really see Bloodseekers on the opposite side very often. You don't really see heroes that do well against Pango anymore. Mars is picked up as well very often. Apu might be picked off.
Stays down. They do a good job using the Ogre's strength in the lane. And that's perhaps one area where Pink is still very strong, like, throughout the mid game, but his lane stage can still be a bit weakened.
For sure. And if you're playing versus Ogre, it's very difficult to zone with the Weaver and Pango. Most likely what will happen is, if he finds a good position, he will zone both of you out of the lane, which is what happens often said.
Oh, Moon! He did get the water in there. I thought Catcher Boy stole it, but yeah, top lane, they're going in for a kill. Boom. Well, gets another one up here. This Ogre is just crushing. He's trying to just go die to a tower, but Afu's going to get it. So Afu, he dies and then he TPs mid to refill Moon's bottle, but as a result, this top lane is kind of suffering for it.
And it wasn't truly like... I was watching top lane the whole time. It wasn't truly his fault because Pango, he had the kill on Ogre. He just missed Swashbuckle. He missed the Swashbuckle. It didn't completely connect. And instead of getting a kill, he dies. So small mistakes there made by a rich potato.
Similar story with Boombell. He TPs mid after dying, refills the bottle, so just both supports, helping out their mid laners where they can. A lot of harass and spells being thrown around the mid lane, as well as some of these side lanes. This one's Kunkka doing some good harass, hits the Torrent, but doesn't have the backup of the Bloodseeker for now. High back in the trees. This helm comes out. Play Ogre, yeah. Very low, and the bug is actually going to finish off the kill. Afu in the trees, getting off just enough damage.
Just so strong. Those bugs, now he has an urn as well available. So much damage coming from him.
Yeah, getting this first urn charges always feels really nice for your game when you can get him this early on.
I'm just thinking, if this game goes the same way like the first one, I feel like Team SMG should be able to take it. If there's just complete madness in the early to mid game. But if there's more discipline from Motivate Trust this time around, if they play their carefully, Medusa wins in the end.
That is usually the Motivate Trust Classic, as we'll see Motivate Trust getting a kill on Roger. Is there going to be
Double
another
kill.
kill? Mid1's trying to go for it, but he's just going to die himself. Master just gets both. These boards just preventing them from running away, and exactly what happened there for SMG.
Yep, I was not taught anything new with that secret position 5.
Want to chase down Gacha Boy. Does Afu go for another Jacuzzi? He's considering. He's got the Urn charge as well. He's going to go for it, but at one point in the Searing Chain, may save his life. No, Afu will get the kill, will die, but he doesn't give up experience.
Better help Dyer's
So
middle tower.
bullet kill for Afu nonetheless, and they'll get damage on the tower.
That was so good for him because of the bug. Man, I'm the biggest bug fanboy ever. It seems like the Weaver used the Swarm and it tanked the tier 2 tower. Weaver dies from like 2 hits on that tier 2 right there. If not for the Swarm tanking it, so really nice.
Team Potato, we're on low here. EP comes in from the Ember. It's going to be bottom lane where Roger gets the kill. Rage Potato just trying to escape from up top. This is with the Ember TPing in, so gotta imagine they'll have the damage, and with the Slider Fist they do get the kill.
Yeah, they really needed to get the kill on the bottom lane as well. They needed that Snapfire or the Beastmaster. It doesn't matter as long as Kunkka gets closer to level 6. Because this lane, if it falls apart, SMG's game falls apart. It's as simple as that.
Cookie on Moon mid. He used the creep to set up as looks like they want to chase onto Moon. The Bloodstrike coming in as well. Gacha Boy getting brought very low. They'll get the kill on Q first, and Gacha Boy goes down with shield crash. They'll get a T1 tower follow. Great rotation from the SMG supports.
Yeah, really, really good. What looked like a move that could go well for Motivate Trust goes extremely badly because they're just bringing numbers on SMG. They brought 4 heroes.
Dyer's bottom tower is being chipped away.
Got his helm, but being pushed away. Usually it's Beastmaster doing the pushing, but SMG with the kind of superior early game, the ones applying the pressure. Motivate Trust.
What does it
Something that they're doing really well when it comes to all SCA teams, I would say, do this thing in which position 4 secures offlane, or it gives offlane just enough to be able to self-sustain, right? To be self-sustainable, and then you leave and you pressure mid and safe lane. You don't necessarily stay top until you tier 1 or something like that.
For Masa, we'll see how self-sustainable he can perhaps be. He's got supports backing him up. I think recognizing that if they aren't there, Kunkka can kill him with this ghost ship with any kind of backup, and both SMG supports are playing around this bottom lane. Both teams just fully committing to this bottom lane, leaving the Medusa and Pingalier alone top to kind of duke it out.
Yeah, I guess when you think Kunkka, you don't have boots, right? And you want to be Weaver. Should he be fine? He's fine, right? Yeah, he's fine.
Next Shikuchi.
Yeah. You don't want to leave bottom lane with the Kunkka. You don't even have boots. With that armlet, you can farm the hard camp, so that's what you're doing. And defending the tower, obviously.
Laguna Blade mid, not going to be enough damage, it looks like, as we're going to Remnant out of there.
This status quo right now, I believe, is alright for SMG, because they're still searching for their item timing to start completely invading the enemy side.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job with this Weaver, just being pesky, preventing, you know, some of the ancient stacking. Basically, this Weaver is keeping both Motivate Trust supports occupied.
And they're not really supports that can catch him.
On Dyer's top
if you look at them, Ogre and the Snapfire, not the fastest and not the easiest spells to dish out on a Weaver. Fire Blast, yeah, sure. Cookie possibly will not, probably will not connect.
If he can continue to be elusive, he's
on Dyer's top
and this bottom tier 1 tower. Maybe trying to snipe this Centaur for some extra bonus gold.
I'm just so surprised that after getting that double kill on Masa, they weren't able to rotate the Ember in on the bottom lane and start taking this tier 1. I'm not sure why Gacha Boy is on the mid lane for so long. He lost the tier 1 tower. Maybe rotate. And they're losing tier 1 on top lane as well. Look at this. SMG is just taking any objective they want to.
Part of that's just been the rune control, where Weaver's keeping his support busy. Gacha Boy is just not finding any runes to play around. Whereas it seems like Lean is the one who's been picking up all these power runes.
Yeah, that definitely comes in handy when you're rotating. That's true, but still, I feel that you maybe needed to pressure the tier 1 on the bottom lane. Is Kunkka really such a wall that you can't take down at all?
Dire's top tower is under
you gotta
attack.
imagine that Masaros is not happy with how his game is right now. He's a Beastmaster.
Right.
His team is losing their safe lane tower, as often happens, but usually you're trading these towers. Beastmaster is playing on the back foot largely.
And you should be trading it unevenly. You should be trading it in a way that Beastmaster is taking the tower alone while his team is defending, or something like that, right?
See, Gotcha Boy, but we don't have that insta-stun set up to initiate on him.
Radiant's middle tower
Okay,
is under
Parker,
attack.
he's got the rune. There's no more excuses. Let's go.
I was trying to defend him before, but yeah. You know, he's only got 2 points inside of 6. You know, he might need some more levels.
I see.
I'm just a Gotcha Boy fan.
I see. So let's just wait level 10 and then make some moves.
Yeah.
X marks the spot. Roll.
Okay. They're gonna pull him back, and that's gonna be the ghost ship landing as Fallen Farm should be enough to get the Rolling Thunder, Raging Potato. Ignore him. Don't watch the Pangolier.
Yeah, don't look at that. Don't look at that.
Yeah. We'll edit it out in post. Great team fight for SMG. Kills the Beastmaster, and they're going to look to steal these Ancients. That's a lot of gold that they can have themselves. Motivate Trust aren't okay with this. They come, take out the Weaver to start things off, and they want more. The Kisses ranking in. Ranking Potato gets bought very low. Shield Crash not going to give him any damage. Blocking Gotcha Boy, he's in with the double damage.
Dire's middle tower.
Got one, and he's going to get a second with the help of the Sentinel Conqueror.
And with the help of that double damage rune that you talked about. You were right all
Dire's
along.
middle tower
It was all
is
about the
Inside
power
a
rune.
fist. That one extra level.
That's all that was needed, obviously. Yeah, maybe SMG.
Radiant's
I
bottom
can't blame
tower's got
trying to get that ancient stack. You have an armor on Kunkka, maxed out Tidebringer. You have to try. But they didn't have any resources, no cells. It was extremely
Not
greedy
much
thing to
good's
do.
happening to Radiant's bottom
Gets away
tower.
from the cookie center. He may have been
Are those cracks in
there.
Dire's top tower?
Now we see Motivate Trust. Group up.
Radiant's bottom
Keep that bottom
tower
tower.
is
You
no more.
know, it comes a bit later than I imagine it would like.
Still, it did come with a couple of kills right around the triangle, so because of that it's kinda alright, and now you can start dewarding the ancient stacks and protecting the Medusa there while she's farming.
Continuing to be a Besk. Need to go in full bug extermination mode to deal with him constantly invading these Ancients, but it seems like the rest of SMG aren't looking to play off of Afu's vision. They're just trying to use it to get their own farm on the map.
Yeah, he's just warding the sentries. I'm surprised he didn't. There's just so many flying around, like he just doesn't have vision on them,
beating on
sadly.
Dire's
There's one.
top tower.
He got one there.
Ooh, Dire's courier got
something.
killed. Those
Do you
things aren't cheap, you know.
Remember the patch the old time when Bounty Hunter and Weaver, the only thing that you would do is hunt couriers?
Yeah.
Like,
Back when you only had one courier too.
yeah.
Dire's top tower
And
is
it-
under attack.
It would impact the game. It wasn't only the gold, right? Like, if the enemy team cannot get their items,
Dire's
was
structures are fortified.
So annoying to play against them.
Are those cracks in Dire's top tower?
One mid. Gets away from the cookie stump, gets caught in a series change, but Underground gonna back him up. Here comes the Mortimer's Mixes. This one getting low, but still got the armlet if he needs to toggle it on, and Raging Potato has caught Gotcha Boy in the river, bouncing him around. He does get the firearms back to the high ground, but he's been scouted out. Taking away with the Spirit Vessel, the damage is there. Roger sees him with the Thirst, so he's able to chase him down and guarantee the kill. So a
Dire's
1-for-1
top
trade.
tower has fallen.
One.
Not
He's
much
low, but
good's
he's got that
happening to
armlet toggle
Radiant's bottom
available.
tower.
I feel like they could have maybe killed Ember even a bit faster if Raging Potato was on point with the swashbuckle. He's not having the best game on the Tangle here, so far at least. If you remember the bounces on the bottom lane, the swashbuckles top lane, but they're making it work. They did kill Ember in the end.
That's the big kill. As far as maybe the Deucey would slightly prefer, but right now Ember is the one making all these plays. DP out from Q. Survived the attempted kill as Zoombell is hunting the Bloodseeker, gets him with the
Killing
multicast
spree.
Fire Blast,
Last.
and that'll be enough to finish off the Bloodseeker. How are you feeling about Bloodseeker support? What you've seen so far? Are you convinced by it yet?
Well, not really. And what we were talking about, and what I was listening to Cap, Sheep, and Evo talk about it. They were talking about Blood Rage most of the time, and I didn't see Blood Rage leveled up at all. They're going with X-Mark's spot. They caught East.
Put him back in and bring him down.
That's an easy one for mid one.
The
Who's
one
got a
thing...
crit and travels now?
Oh, he's fine. The one thing the Bloodseeker reminds me a bit of is the old like Death Prophet support, where the silence duration is pretty crazy when you max it early on, like a 6-second silence in AoE. If you have set like stuns to set it up, in this case, it's like the Kunkka with the X, I guess. Like that is a long silence.
That's a good point. I actually like that a lot. As long as you're able to set it up, right? And they do have teams to set it up with like this X marks the spot. They just killed Q. They have Rolling Thunder as well. They do have enough control for it, so yeah, why not? It's a support that's very... it's a brawler type support, right? It's very difficult to trade hits with him in the lane, which is a bonus.
Jumping up on the cliff. Mid one now on the low ground. Be in some trouble, but has the backup of the Rolling Thunder, I think. Can he find someone? Yep, he jumps on top of the Ember. Swashbuckler to follow it up. Is the damage going to be there? Lena shows up to finish off the Ogre, and Gacha Boy's trying to get back to the high ground, but he just gets taken out. Too fast to respond.
Yeah, he didn't have mana. He actually missed the first Remnant, and then the second one that was on the high ground, he missed like 50 mana for it. Unfortunate for him. Gets taken down, and when I'm looking at this game, I'm feeling that Ember shouldn't really be dying that easily. You know, you look at these heroes, you should be able to get away from.
It's not like there's that insta-catch or hex or something that makes your life really difficult.
Yeah, exactly. No grips or hexes, impales, whatnot. It's really Rolling Thunder that you're fighting against, and perhaps an LSA that catches you off guard, but that's about it.
In a good position. It's 12 kills piece, but a 4k gold lead on their way, mostly off of this mid matchup where Lena is 3,000 gold ahead of the Ember Spirit. Ping down bottom. Moon has a BKB though, so could pop that if he needs to, but right now he just wants to get back to base because he is out of mana. Does seem like the fight is potentially brewing.
They're just trying to pressure this tier 2. Ember meanwhile defending the mid lane a little bit, and now we'll see if SMG decides to go defend the tier 2 on the bottom lane, or maybe go for Rosh. I think they're going for Rosh. Lena is deeping mid, or maybe just Ember.
Ember walks into him, and they'll happily take the Ember if he's going to do that.
It's because of this ward, right next to the rune.
Were those cracks
and now Rosh, even better.
Gets the... Oh, what about keeping bot? Push out the wave a bit and X's himself back. So now though, yeah, trying to defend the bottom tier 2 tower while going for Roshan, but I think this bottom tier 2 is being taken through the backdoor protection.
It's surviving.
Eventually.
They smoke up instantly after faking Roshan. They can take the triangle, maybe invade their own jungle, reclaim it. Jackie needs to be careful if he continues farming.
They give Lena the Aegis too. The squisher of the 2 cores. So, Ogre gets found, gets found. 3-4 kill for SMG, who want more. They want to clear out their jungle. They know this has been kind of taken over the outpost control away from them, and Motivate Trust probably just have to escape.
Needs to be careful. He might lose Aegis here.
There's going to be a BKB that gets popped before the roar hits, so Moon, instead of using up the Aegis, uses his first BKB charge. Mid lane, yeah, they got the damage for this one. He pops the Manta, but he does it too early. The Ghost Ship is still going to hit him. Doesn't look like they've got anywhere near enough damage. Maybe with an X, which is up in a couple of seconds, they can initiate on Jack Boys, and Raging Potato gets juked. He gets his ankles broken, but he's got the Blink Dagger, luckily, so still manages to catch Jack Boys. Great to follow it up. Apu secures the kill. Gacha Boy takes out Roger to get some revenge here. He wants Raging Potato, but doesn't want to heal himself back up a bit. Has the sword with the mana. It looks like a bit of a bloodbath with this dive in the mid lane. They're going to lose the Pangolier, but get the Ogre and force Motivate Trust even further back in their base. He is source of alone. Arthur will get the kill. Gets very low in the process.
Just as much help as Bob.
Arthur is actually very tanky for a Weaver. If you look at his item build, he has 2 crowns. Most likely he's going for that 8 toss. Yep. Drive here afterwards, most likely. We were talking about how they it doesn't look like that, but they truly do lack some instant control for the Ember. It didn't seem that way so far. And Weaver, because of that, was actually going for the 8 toss, which makes a ton of...
Oh, well, that gap, perhaps Roger is struggling to deal with some boars.
With some bobs. Some bobs are chasing him down.
And there's, yep, Bob's in it. There. He just died to summons. That's a bit sad for him, but if this Kunkka gets the return kill, he's happy with this. Can't X him back, but the automatic X means the Ghost Ship still lands and they get the kill nonetheless, so... Roger's saying that's worth it from my perspective.
Yeah, I guess Masaros was sticking around to... So it's either the inner beast, right? Or it's to get some experience. Or it sometimes happens, you're just microing the units and you're moving with your hero as well. He won't help positions, he just...
Gets ganked up. Have they got the damage to this one? It sure looks like it. Thing is Pangolier. Is he gonna go for this one? Yeah, they've got the Lina rotating as well, so they want bigger fish to fry. They're gonna ignore Boonbell's Ogre and go for choose Snapfire instead. I think they wanted Gotcha Boy, but they'll settle for the Snapfire and possibly the Ogre, but he TP's out, so.
And they settled for a position 4 instead of a 5. It's a bit better, right? And meanwhile, Medusa was farming on the bottom lane, so... Yeah, Kunkka dying there is not necessarily the best thing for SMG, obviously. They need to be extremely careful with these deaths. Even though you're in the lead, you are playing versus a Medusa.
So you see this as a game with enough farm, with enough time, Medusa should come online and be able to carry this one?
I feel like she should be able to, but my problem is the way I'm seeing these fights. They're way too chaotic for Motivate Trust. When you're playing with the Medusa, you don't want these chaotic fights in which there's just too many fights happening. You want one big giant fight with your Stone Gaze and you're hitting all the supports and whatnot. So far, SMG has done a really good job at picking them apart.
Using some of the chaotic nature of some of these heroes, Pangolier, Weaver with their high mobility to make these fights not as straightforward as perhaps Motivate Trust would like. We'll get a bit easier with the Skadi pickup, giving a bit of extra slow to people nearby. Gotcha Boy, roll back into that Bloodred silence. They chain stun him with the Yule Scepter on the Pangolier. He's actually being sunned up perfectly. Great play from Raging Potato. He's going to get a follow-up stun on the Boonbell. Once more. Gets the swashbuckle. His Snapfire is slowing him down. Afu, the double damage is going to have to be time-lapse his way back to a bit of health here. As Raging Potato, maybe he's overcommitted. He's overplayed his hand. He's started up as well. And now with the Raw into mid one, this Jackboy's Medusa is finally coming online. He's just standing his ground and fighting. He's 1 versus 5 or 1 versus 2 because he's managed to take down a few with him, but unfortunately for him, the Lina is just too tough to handle right now, and with a Laguna Blade potentially coming, this is not success for Jackboys, who ends up going down. They didn't even need the Laguna Blade. He didn't have mana for it. He just did it the old-fashioned way with the right clicks.
I have to say Medusa played that really well in the fight around the shrine. The Manta to dodge a couple of spells, to dodge the Torrent and whatnot. It was on point, but in the end, Lina came to party. That Aegis was reclaimed, by the way. As Moon was hitting her, Aegis gets reclaimed, so if Lina was there at the start, it could have been much better for SMG. Also, the way they're controlling Ember, forcing him to buy that BKB, he will have it for the next engagement.
That's perhaps going to make this Motivate Trust fight a bit easier. It feels like that's the kind of fight where if they have an Ember to fight around that Medusa, things can look really good for them.
Oh, for sure, I agree completely. He's been stopped way too many times for a game such as this one. He's what? Lina is 10-0, meanwhile Ember is actually a decent score, 7 kills, 6 stats, however, it's a lot.
Still gets the fire in and away. Kunkka now being gone with the Fire Blast multicast. They're going to go in with the Raging Potato, Rolling Thunder. Doesn't connect on the Medusa, instead going to find the Snapfire on the sides here as Ember got the BKB. That may save his life. Mid one's conquered. Gets low. Not enough damage with the armlet being toggled back on. He'll survive, but Lena coming, rotating in. Gets cookie. Oh, yeah, he pops the BKB just in time, but he can't run away. Nothing this guy in mid. He knows he feeds. Motivate, trust with a huge fight in the mid lane.
I've seen some cocky Linas in the past, but that pretty much takes the prize. Like, takes the trophy. He just runs uphill, uses BKB and tries to fight them. There's no way. Ember was actually the one catching them from behind. He got the Nevis drone and went back in, caught the Weaver and the Kunkka. Kunkka now has a BKB. I think this is also a big deal for SMG. These last couple of fights, he didn't have the BKB, and that's why they either traded evenly or lost the fight like they did in the last one.
It does feel like even from the SMG side, the fights haven't been perfectly synced up as well. Also make a play going on Jack Boys here. They're low on mana. And perhaps knowing that, they want to try and force this one. Rolling Thunder coming up in just a second. Rady Potato, he's ready to go. They burst. Counter Medusa. Absolutely deleted from this game. Asa getting low as well, as the roll is going to look for big. Gotcha Boy. He gets the BKB off, so he should be fine. In fact, he's looking for kills. He wants to be more than fine, but with Medusa down, I don't think he can fight this one much more. He hasn't got any fire in it. He may just get his BKB wearing off. He may just be dead here. He's hoping the one of his misses from the Snapfire can bail him out, but it's not going to be enough. And now they know where Q is as well. They're chasing, looking for more. No longer managed to avoid them. He gets the cookie to the high ground, and nice play by Rage Potato with the Euro 7. Stuck, but get the kill.
These two teams are just never satisfied. I think that's both of their problems. In this game, like, you take a good fight and then you just go way too far. If you took a good fight, chances are you used a lot of your resources and your spells for it, right? Like, why do you continue going in? Why do you continue taking this tier 2 instead of perhaps setting up the perimeter, warding up the triangle, waiting for the best possible situation for you to fight again? Especially when you're playing with the Medusa. Just got way too easily. That one crit from mid one as well was devastating.
Absolutely destroying that. I was surprised Dusa was still, even crit or no crit, I think Jack Boys was just way too far forward. Considering Run has been gone and he has full mana lead, so he's going to be able to tinker a lot more damage. He may speed up Matt Moon, getting low with the BKB on mid one and Moon. They do have the damage to bring him down. Great roll, and Thunder going to start up too. Mid one's got himself a triple kill. He wants more. They're charging forward. The cookie from Q. Anything to follow it up, it looks like Q will bring down Moon's leader with the help of Gotcha Boy. Gotcha Boy, he's getting low. He manages to get to the sidelines. No, he can't. Afu will finish him off as Moonbell's the last man standing to motivate Trust, and he's going to be that full team with the Rampage mid one. What's his name on this game?
I think Boombo, he just buybacks there, gives the Kunkka the Rampage. He deserved it.
Dire's bottom tower is being chipped away.
Oh man, Jackie.
This has been a pretty rough series for him.
It's been very difficult, yeah. In the first game on the Wraith King, he had a couple of plays where he's out of position. In this game as well, he's on this tier 2 that's extremely difficult to defend, tier 2 that's usually controlled and warded up by the enemy team. Instantly gets gone on, and he's the sole reason why they were even in this fight. They didn't want to take it. They didn't even respawn and converge on the same place together, right? So they kind of just ended up running in one by one, trying to save Private Jackie, and just fed.
It's definitely, usually his play as a carry is, it hasn't been bad this series, but like you say, it's just a couple of pickoffs which completely kind of put his team in a terrible position, something that he's not known for doing.
I remember him when he was playing in T1, like, T1 positional, like, they wouldn't perhaps win the lane, and they wouldn't be massively ahead in the mid game, but positionally they were always really good around Jackie. Like, they would play really well the strategic game, waiting around the high ground, protecting Jackie, making sure that he's always ahead core to core matchup, carry to carry matchup. Maybe he's feeling the same in this team. Maybe he's feeling that they're supposed to be doing the same thing, but they aren't. You know what I mean? Maybe he's just way too used to how things used to be, that he's seeing things that aren't there. They're just not supporting him as much. They're not there instantly when he's TPing to a tier 2, let's say.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Bit easier to be together when you're defending your high ground, at least. So motivate, trust, that's the position they're going to find themselves in.
Can't get picked off if you're all together on the high ground, yeah.
Yep. Just the one out of tower remaining down bottom if they want to go for it, but SMG seem to be maybe interested in playing the farm game. They've also had to deal with this Beastmaster, the Helm of the Overlord, constantly split pushing some of these waves, being a bit pesky. And as a result, Raging Potato are going to go back and defend with the X though, so he can be pulled back into the fight. As see if SMG can find that initiation or that start to the fight that they're hoping to get.
He's got your move here.
Gets the LSA. Is there going to be a follow-up stun? Doesn't look like it. Remnant away. Yep, he's rolled in. Can't follow it up, not with the Stone Gaze being cast, but perhaps SMG just going to be happy because they forced out of Stone Gaze. Could be a win itself. This one on the low ground getting a bit of damage, but roll comes up on the Raging Potato. He's getting low and I'm sure he's got the way out of this one. The Ghost Ship, the Rum buff coming in a bit too late for him, but they do take out the T3 tower. Looks like SMG just want to retreat as they're in a 4v5 situation. Moon maybe going to look to turn around, catch right. Great LSA dodge by Ember. He saw it coming. He go back in and finish off some of these kills. The Kunker getting low. Mid one's got an Aegis. He's going to be coming back to life with a BKB and Satanic. So when will Motivate Trust want to fight into this one? It looks like for now the answer's no. He's just going to hide himself in the trees. They can see in the Ogre, who's looking to follow up with the Fire Blast, get some good damage. Mid one's getting low here, but he pops the BKB. Needs to try and find a target of Light Sloth. Jack Boy's on the front lines with the Scotty. He's just peeking mid one in place. He can't get away from this Medusa. Great team fight for Motivate Trust. We're going to buy back on the Pangolier. Moon going to find themselves backed up now by Raging Potato and able to push Motivate Trust back into their base.
Now what
Dyer's
was
top
this
there.
buyback
Banged
too
up.
late? Let's see. They do have buyback on Ember and Beastmaster, but it looks like they will just lose the Raxes.
Dyer's top there. It's
Just not defending fast enough.
Dyer really don't
And Medusa wanted to heal first, didn't even get all her mana back, but it was just, yeah.
And they just needed to refresh, right? They needed to go back and all the resources. Understandable. Also questionable if Pango could buy back a little bit earlier to rejoin that fight on top lane. Because Kunkka had the Aegis, right? And if you know that he has the Aegis and that you can turn, maybe buy back. Maybe he didn't. He did have gold, so I'm not sure what happened there. Wasn't on cooldown. Yeah.
Motivate Trust, though, just the one Rax going down. They've definitely got heroes that aren't going to be too bothered about, you know, some sort of stronger creeps coming their way when you've got a Medusa, Ember Spirit.
I feel like, okay, they're going in for the Medusa kill.
And they bring down this Medusa, pops the BKB. Raging Potato trading his ultimate for the BKB of Medusa.
Instant smoke, though.
Okay. Double damage rune, though. This could be bad for Motivate Trust if they don't realize a double damage Lina. He awaiting them.
There's still no Kunkka. So maybe they get it off, but he should be TPing right away. He has travels.
He's going to do just that. TPing to the top lane. They won't be looking to rejoin his team. Afu in the front lane will run into Q Snapfire. Either player going to look to fight into one or the other, and they're going to follow up with a roar. Nice use of the Scatter Blast shot. I don't think Weaver was expecting that.
Buyback?
Radiant's middle
Go
tower
for it.
has fallen.
Get the X on the Boom Bell. The Torrent catches two with the Ghost Ship, and they've actually caught Medusa. Jackboy's walked into this one, but he got off the Stone Gaze. Mid-one. Against Stone Bell. Afu's going to be careful. He just fought back, and he may die again. He gets so low enough.
Triple kill.
He's going to try fighting way out of this. Another Tucci may just escape, and Medusa goes down, and SMG destroys the double damage. Lina and Kunka just breathing through people. Moon's on a killing streak.
Dyer's middle tower
Getting
has
several
fallen.
kills, and they're just going to go for the tier 4s. It's game, but no one is buyback.
Dyer's middle tower
That's
isn't
game
the
right
last
there.
middle
I'm-
tower just
I'm
went down. Dyer's no fortified
It's not like I'm a fanboy of either one of these two teams, but just I expected more. I expected more from Motivate Trust in a game such as this one. Not sure what happened there in the end. They just took a couple of poorly knitted fights. Medusa running into that torrent as well where Ogre is. I understand, like, okay, you're trying to save the Ogre, right? But it's a position 5 Ogre. You're not supposed to put yourself in such of a bad spot just for saving him. the positioning of that fight was also very bad for Motivate Trust, because when you're playing a Medusa, you don't really necessarily want to be on the low ground there hitting everyone uphill. It's also something that's a bit of a problem for you, so it happens. Sometimes you get 2 games in which you're not in your form, maybe you didn't sleep well, it happens. I'm sure Motivate Trust will bounce back.
And that's what this definitely felt like. Motivate Trust not in their A game. The problem is it comes at a pretty unfortunate time, because this could be the deciding series for like 3rd place, for example. Because SMG have now beaten Motivate Trust as well as Fnatic, who are their biggest competition for 3rd place, behind, assuming that T1 and Boom are the 2 best teams in SEA, which, you know, who knows? A lot of things can happen. There's still a lot of Dota left. So SMG, great clutch victory for them. They just played some pretty crisp Dota for the most part. It was still had a bit of craziness, a bit of dives. But that's always going to come with SMG, and that's when they're, you know, winning games. They love to go for those plays. So with that, yeah,
this was crazy. The fountain dives, and then Pango, Raging Potato, just playing the same like he's playing a Spirit Breaker. Still, though, they make it work.
Yeah, they're a fun team to watch, that's for sure. Always, you know, I'm sure their fans always like, oh, are they going to dive and, you know, go too far? But for now, they get the 2-0 win. Unfortunately, Lizard, you get yourself another 2-0. Hopefully some 3-game series coming, you know, our way over the next few weeks. But we're going to head back to the panel as we wrap up today's action, because that's it. Dota's done for today, but we'll have a breakdown and head to a quick break and then back to our lovely panel.